Cloaked, full-bearded, and with silvered hair free-flowing, he strode upon the stage with nothing in hand, though he'd given over his harp and Cliftwell pipes to a daughter for safekeeping. Taking his bearings, he stood at the exact centre, shifting himself from left to right until he was fully satisfied with his alignment. It was clear these were practice movements, like tuning a musical instrument, done here other times, if not often, and drenched in memory for him. From his pack he extracted a carved folding seat, a thing of wings as he spread it to sit down with the air of a listener, as if he himself were the audience and we, the performers, all chatting, socializing, acting out our petty cares as we sat or lay or supported ourselves on the curved tiers of stone. Embarrassed, we stopped everything we were doing and hushed ourselves to hear his tale, as his voice drew us into the story. We can never return to the beginning, and the records of the misty years are scattered and few. I begin with what I have been told by others and have no reason to disbelieve. There were wars, terrible wars, and horrible conditions. Whole families, whole tribes were lost in the north. Our men built clever weapons to defend the city, made a final assault on the enemy, and killed enough of them to bring peace. There were no known survivors and no prisoners taken. The men returned broken and sick to HYLA and to the ruins of their lives. It was a common nightmare among the men who bolted upright in their beds with a curse on their lips and would not be comforted by their wives. The blazing eyes of the enemy, all honeyed golden brown, so unnatural, so filled with hate, and the lank hair, almost white, no matter the age of the man, all so unnatural as to seem unhuman altogether. Though the women pleaded with their men and lay awake listening to their laboured breathing and anguished cries, they could learn no more. Some say it was then that the theft crept into our lives. And given the small populations that survived the painful memories, the sorrow of the men, and the unknowable powers of the enemy, who can say whether that is possible or no? We go back 7 generations to tell this tale properly. The records, I'm told, go back another 7 to the misty years and later to the Guardians, but that is another tale entirely, and never to be told by these lips this day. We will call these men and women who suffered to reclaim their lives together the first generation. Now few children were born outside HYLA, in the lands laid waste by the enemy. But in HYLA, every able-bodied man was nursed back to health by his surviving relatives. And soon he was seen dandling a child in his lap and telling the child stories, and mothers singing lullabies as they tucked their twins or triplets into bed. The men would plan, and the women would execute. What they lacked in individual strength they made up for in numbers. But by some stroke of fate, or by the enemy's curse, there were more females than males born each year. No one saw this as the dark harbinger it proved to be, until it was too late. Life was not easy for the first, but it was steady. The cleared ground, even the burnt-over areas, recovered less than 3 years on. Of course, it was the women who braved the night, travelling together in small, silent bands. They walked arm in arm over the ruined fields. They took no candles or lamps, for you see, what they were seeking would only be visible in moonlight. They discovered the first seedling growing near a stream choked with reeds, both cut and green. It was the downed roof and the burnt waste of a cottage once inhabited by the clever healer named Le, who, it was later learned, perished in that fire. The blue light of the first seedling led them to another and still more. Each one they found an equal distance apart, covered with a pile of dry elm leaves. When the women discovered the pattern, they stopped searching and spread out at arm's length along the stream bank. They wrapped 30 Seth seedlings to move that night and planted them along the river withe at sunrise. Please check the comments below for the link to the next part of this tale.